Okay, where to start? Overall, let me just begin by saying it is a very well designed, engineered car. This will give Lego a run for its money because it's really, really good. I mean, well designed. You know, I have no complaints basically or the overall design of this. I decided to get this. I was actually planning to get the Lego version of whatever car they had. I think it was a Ferrari or whatever it was. Can't remember. But then I saw this advertised on Facebook and I looked into it. It's from China. And then I researched it more online on YouTube, and apparently there were quite a number of builds of this, and they were praising its design. More so also its accuracy, especially where the rear tires are involved, because the Lego Formula One cars, apparently, why they got this wrong, I have no idea, but they have the same set of tires that I have in the front as in the back, which shouldn't be the case. Because the rear tires are wider, and CaDA got it right, whereas Lego didn't. So go figure. And another point to make is that Lego still insists on doing stickers on the bodies, applying stickers, whereas CaDA don't. Everything here is printed. There are no stickers whatsoever. Nothing. And I wish that Lego would do the same thing too. Okay, I'm just going to show you just a couple of features, some of the features. This spoiler here with this orange lever, where I push it back, you can see it rise up. Not much. There's a bit of articulation there. Okay. This here, turn the wheel, left and right. This does roll freely. So this car is also equipped with a differential gear, which is pretty cool. This one does come off rather easily to show you the engine. Okay. Overall, this car is it's solidly built. It's really surprised at its the quality. Really surprised. Overall fitment is good. Very good also. There are some parts where you had to sort of fiddle around with so it'll fit much better, because I know this part here, for instance, this was kind of loose if it's not inserted at a proper angle. For those who've done it, they know what I mean. But this was, like I said, it was really loose, but again, it had to be inserted at a certain angle, so it's not to prevent this from swinging out very loose. Because the base of the swivel, the pivot point underneath it's loose, but if done as I mentioned, it's pretty. It'll stay in place. In terms of fitment parts, very nice. There are only two parts that I had to glue, because they just kept popping out. I mentioned this one earlier in the previous video. And there's also one back here. Again, it was that little part there on top of that red piece. There's a little part there that I had to glue in, because it just kept popping out as I was inserting this the spoiler. So I glued that down. Other than that, everything else is just press fit. It's got a nice tolerance. Okay, so okay, now as for the cons of this, where do I begin? I'm not a fan of the how the parts were in bags like this. It was broken up in four, shall I say, four sections or four bags with a bunch of different parts. And essentially, if you were to work on, say, for instance, bag one, you'd have to put out all the parts, lay it out on the table. And I'm not a fan of that. It would just I more like this system that Lego uses, where here's a part, take out these certain bags, blah 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 blah. Use this, then you move on to the next bag, where you only take so much out. Again, like for those master builders, I guess they're okay with that, or but for me personally, it was a pain in the butt. I did not like that. How that was done. During the process build, I documented the fact that I was missing two pieces. Well, one was missing essentially two pieces. Contacted CaDA through email asking for replacement for the two replacement for parts. And unlike Lego, who shipped their parts really quickly, these guys took a long time. It took 3 or 4 or 5 days before they actually shipped it, and delivery itself was 3 weeks. And during that time, there was hardly any updates also on tracking until Canada Post finally picked it up. But it was a long time. Considering the fact that when I ordered this from CaDA, this thing itself, it only took 3 or 4 days for them from ordering to delivery. It was quick, and I was expecting the same. I guess I was assuming that they'll ship really quickly and come to me just as fast, but that was not the case. So I was dreading the fact that if I were to go on building this, I may have to be waiting again if some parts were missing, but thank God no parts were missing, so I was able to complete the build, the rest of the building, just in 2 days. So those last 3 weeks, I couldn't even continue the build because of those two parts. I wish they'd work on that more. I wish. In terms of communication, it was good. I wouldn't say it was great. It was good. When I did follow up with them, I followed up with them 3 or 4 times. At least twice they answered, responded, but the third or fourth time they did not. So whatever. Now, as to will I buy from these guys again? I mean, I'd like to. It's a yes and a no. I mean, I recommend, yes, buying it from them. But for me personally, probably not. Again, because of those two. The first factor being that all those bags laid out, and I had to search for those parts and stuff. That's just not me. That's just not for me. And also plus the fact that when I build stuff, if I were to get another one of these or similar one, might be a similar way of building it, and that's going to be kind of boring for me. I want to do something that's different. So, and this was a different way of building it as compared to when I did the Bugatti. I did, what was it, back in 2019, 2020. So, but that's pretty much it, really. Those are my personal gripes. Oh, and the manual itself, the tutorial. There were times when it was clear, and other times where it was not clear. So it was sort of like a trial and error kind of thing. There were some instructions where it could have helped, where if they include an overhead shot of where parts were to be connected and that sort of thing. There were a number of times where I had to resort to build videos on YouTube to help me out, just to figure out how these parts were put together, connected together. Sometimes you'd build certain sections, and then you'd have to, after you build those 2 or 3 sections, you'd take those sections and connect it to the other part. There was one part where I could not figure out how to do it, so I had to, like I said, go to a build video and figure it out. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's fine. But those are just my major complaints about this instructions. Could have been much clearer, in my opinion. And I'm saying that based on my experience with Lego. So, other than that, yeah, that's it. Those are my overall thoughts of this. It's a great car. I mean, again, I wouldn't want to sway anyone from not getting this. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really beautiful. Of note, when I watched other people's videos, I noticed that they didn't pay attention to the parts where this were to be connected, so it was all over the place for some of them. But it was in their, to their credit, these were actually marked as to which ones to get. It was actually shown on the instructions. So if you didn't pay attention to those markings there, this would have been there, this could have been here, or whatever, which I saw a lot of in a lot of the builds. But this is the proper placement. 3. Okay, just one of those observations, and I still have no idea what this one does. No idea. Yeah. All right, that's just my overall thoughts about this thing. The only thing I regret about this is that I can't hook up any lights to this. I wanted to if I'd gotten the Lego version of this from the one, I would have hooked it up with lights from Light My Bricks, but unfortunately there is none available. I mean, it could be done, don't get me wrong, but anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. I would have loved to put lights in this one, but unfortunately that's not the case. But either way, it's still nice without it. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.